Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the swamp. It's episode 4 of Fake Nerds Watch. We're the Fake Nerd Guys from the Fake Nerd Podcast. So many fake things going on. You know it's not fake. How great the show is. What's up? I'm Ryan Leopolis. That's Sparkz Witty. That's Ben Magnet. We're here to talk about another great episode of a great show. It's still canceled.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about that, but it's quality level still topping it.
Yep. Swamp Thing, episode 4, Darkness at the Edge of Town.
Bruce Springsteen, baby.
Yeah.
The boss?
The boss.
Like the most famous thing to come out of New Jersey?
Is he? Is the New Jersey Devil not more famous than Bruce Springsteen? I'm just a joke. That's not real. So guys, Swamp Thing's still really good.
Yeah.
Thank God. We start this episode with more Swamp Boys.
Yeah.
Something I always appreciate, just dudes chilling in a swamp.
No.
No?
Avery.
Oh, is Avery?
We started with Avery, yeah. It opens up with Avery's flashback of his dad.
Oh, that's very quick.
It is very quick.
I was hoping for more
but
of that.
But okay. I thought that was going to come back more in the
That's
episode,
right.
and it really only does in Avery's conversation with Maria later.
That's true, okay.
But it does open with Avery burning Gordon, who we saw murder in
That's
episode
true.
3.
You're right.
And he's having flashbacks to being in the swamp with his father.
Yeah, so, when Avery was a kid, his dad, worked in the swamp, and he, trapped a gator, and he's like, Avery, kill this gator. And Avery's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's almost like a God of War Kratos moment.
Yeah.
Right. With
Atreus.
Atreus, thank you. And he's like, I don't want to do it. So the dad grabs a knife and just stabs the alligator in the head right in front of Avery, and that's gonna scar some kids. So you can probably see why Avery turned out the way he did. Probably a bad childhood. You know, can't blame the kid. What are you gonna do? He's a murderer now. He's a bad guy. Where to go from there?
But he talks about his father in a really loving way when we get to that later.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're talking about they're kind of connected, he has this whole moment where he's talking with Maria later, and how seeing Sophie without her Susie without her parents makes him think of losing his father when he was young, and that he's always trying to live up to that man.
Oh, yeah.
So he admires him in some way,
I guess.
Which is weird because the flashbacks seemed like his dad was a bit of a dick. Was a super dick.
There's got to be more that we're gonna see.
It kind of reminds me of one of your favorite comic books, Infamous Iron Man.
Yeah.
The scene where Dr. Doom's mom is like, "Hey, kill this sweet innocent rabbit." He's like, "No," and she's like, "You coward."
Yeah. I'm
suck.
so disappointed in you, Dr. Doom. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
And then later, it kind of reminds me of that, where maybe his dad's like, "All right, fine, I'll just do it myself," but he's trying to show him.
He's trying to make him into a man.
Yeah, it's one of those "Hey, be a man" moments.
And I think. Now that Avery's grown up and realizes how shitty the world is, his dad was trying to do something nice for him by making him into a monster, maybe?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think that since they showed that really brief flashback, we'll probably see more of Avery and his father's relationship in future episodes, because right now, that felt kind of like the Blue Devil thing we got in episode 3, where it's like, hey, here's one scene, and you're like, okay, but when are we going to pick up on that? And we got a lot of that in this episode, but now I'm like, where's more of Avery and his dad?
Yeah, that's why I completely forgot about that flashback. Because it was literally 1 minute at the beginning, and then didn't show up anymore.
Yeah.
So I would hope that shows up more.
Yeah,
almost like a Kingpin kind of thing. You see how he became.
It was a little odd, just because it wasn't really covered any further in the episode.
Yeah. So that happens at the beginning, and then we get
Swamp Boys.
Then we get Todd and his friend on the boat.
Some guy.
Yep, just guys trying to cut down some trees for something?
Yeah, getting lumber.
They're clearing the trees to get closer to the cypress trees, which are rare.
Yeah.
So,
that's not that important.
No, it's not.
No, they're just trying to clear out some trees so they can get to other trees, and then this body falls from the...
They're cutting down a tree,
yeah,
and then, teeth start falling.
A hotel key. And then teeth.
Yeah.
And then
a cadaver.
A whole
mummified
guy. Dude.
Yeah, a whole dude just falls
from the tree, cuts this one dude on his arm, and you see a little snake thingy or something just slip into his arm.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is that?
Because the jaw fell right on his arm, and as they pulled it off, it just scraped into his
literally
skin.
Half a dude's face just fell on his arm and instantly bit him.
Yeah,
it's he's not alive, he just got bammed. I'm like, oh man, I hope nothing bad happens here. Lots of bad things happen.
And the whole time Todd's nervous about snakes. We get the establishment that Todd's nervous about snakes being up in the trees.
Yes, he's fearful of snakes. He then goes to his job
at Delroy's. And we find out that Liz is Delroy's daughter.
Yeah.
I don't think we knew before this point.
I want to say we did in the first episode.
If they did, they didn't establish it well enough to remember.
I want to say they did. It was the first episode there because they go to see Abby and Alec go to see her. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh, Liz, still working for your dad? And I thought you worked at the newspaper." She's like, "I only help him out every once in a while."
Okay, I must have missed the dad part. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a really quick. You don't hear it, you miss it sort of thing. So
we're at Delroy's and Todd's the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And he thinks he sees a snake in the sink.
Yeah.
And then Liz is like, "Yo, bro, you're on drugs. There's no snake. Just do the dishes." So he starts doing dishes, and then he starts hallucinating.
The rattlesnake has coiled completely around him and is hissing at him.
I think it was a cottonmouth.
It's a
big venomous snake.
So he grabs a knife.
Bites you, you die.
He grabs a knife and he's like, "I'm going to stab the snake that's not there," and just starts stabbing his arms. I
also would have thought it was a cottonmouth. I just noticed a rattler. It wasn't going, but it was there. Yeah. And I think just because everybody knows that rattlers scare people, so they put a rattler on the snake. But I agree with you that the rest of it didn't look like a rattler. Yeah. But anyways, neither here nor there. Snake facts.
2018.
Yeah, he just mauls his arm.
Keeps stabbing the crap out of his arm.
It's rough. It's really rough.
And never hitting the snake.
No, and Delroy and Liz are watching this, and he's just like, ah! Like, you see his point of view and the other's point of view. Yeah.
Like, there's clearly not a snake there.
Audience sees the snake. You see it through his point of view and him freaking out and stabbing his own arm. And then you just see Liz and Delroy go, "Oh, shit! This Todd's stabbing his own fucking arm!"
Yeah, Todd, please stop.
Yeah, they're trying to get that knife away from him.
Well, and then he just shoves his arm
down
right into the trash compactor.
Yeah.
The garbage disposal.
Yeah.
And just rips his fingers off. That dude's bleeding to death. He dies.
And he scratches Delroy.
Yes. So that's the moment we learn that this is a virus that, like, it's like almost like a zombie virus. Like it's a fear virus. It transitions through scratches.
Did Todd die? Did they establish how Todd died?
I thought he was covered up.
He was in a body bag.
He was in a body bag.
He was in a body bag.
That dude lost a lot of blood.
Pretty sure he died via blood loss because he kept like stabbing his arm like this.
No, I know. Like,
I mean, they had his head covered, so I don't think they'd do that if he was alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Delroy gets scratched, and he doesn't think anything of it until he starts having hallucinations of a robbery.
But all of us are like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, we all know. And they did this really good effect, real quick. Anytime someone gets scratched, it's like there's like a thing on the screen.
It's like the image kind of zooms in slightly and then reverberates.
Yeah.
So you pick up on the moment as a
specific
moment.
The transitioning is happening.
Yeah, it's because the virus or the darkness, like what Swamp Thing calls it, is transferred through blood.
Yes.
Because if, like, you notice how he was constantly, like, he had blood on his hands, he scratched Delroy, and that's how he got the infection. Mm-hmm. And then when Delroy scratched the cop later, he had blood on his hands.
Oh, yeah, and when, I mean, this is a little bit later, but when Swamp Thing goes to investigate the cadaver, and he goes to, like, do his plant stuff on it, the plants react. So it's like, oh, this isn't of me. I can't be near this.
Can't touch that.
Can't touch this.
Can't touch this. Do.
MC Swamp Thing. So where do we go from there, man? Let's see. So yeah, Delroy's he's all sick, and then he gets.
Well, Liz calls Abby.
Okay.
Abby goes to Swamp. She's
so
talking.
It does. Sorry, real quick. It does still just translate through scratching.
Oh, yeah,
not necessarily specifically through blood.
True, you're right. You have to scratch someone hard enough so they can.
So that it draws blood.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, like, when we get to the officer.
Yeah.
Towards the end, like, she just full on scratches Abby. She had no extra blood on her hands.
You're right.
It just needs a way to get inside.
Yeah.
It's like cat scratch fever.
It is cat scratch fever, yeah.
Times 1,000.
So Delroy is starting to feel the effects of this virus or dark virus, whatever it is.
Well, not Liz. Abby goes to the swamp.
Okay.
She sees Alec, and she finds the body, and then Alec's all like, "Hey, you shouldn't have come here." And he's actually speaking a lot better.
Yes, he's finally learning.
He's very clear.
Using his words.
Yeah. So
but he's still sad. He's like, "What's happening to me, Abby? This sucks."
Like, he gives Abby a little piece of him. Says like, "Hey, yeah, sure, you can like say this or whatever. I still don't know what the heck's happening to me, but the plants are talking to me. The swamp's talking to me. Crazy shit's going down. Just be careful.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go over here."
But in his nice Swamp Thing way.
Yeah. So she's looking at the stuff in the. She's looking at Swamp Thing's like molecular structure through a microscope. Woodrue shows up.
Oh right, yeah.
And he's all like, "Oh,
Woodrue's token one scene per episode."
Yeah, but also he plays the whole, "Oh, your data there is wrong. I'm better than you and everything."
Yeah,
he does the whole like, "Oh, I'm better than everyone because I'm Jason Woodrue. Everyone sucks." He looks at
what you got over there, Abby? He's like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it." No, but that looks like kind of cool. What do you got over there?
Well, he's like, at first he's like, "Oh, hey, your numbers are wrong," and then he looks through the microscope and he's like, Wait, what?
Well, because, like, his thing is, like, so, like, it has the structure of a plant and an animal.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. So he's like, can I please help you? Because this is, like, the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He's, like, got a hard-on for this thing.
Yes, he does.
And he works for Avery, which obviously will help him through the long run. Abby knows he works for Avery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she calls him out on
Yeah,
it.
so, it's still funny.
And he's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, so, she decides to work with him, which... probably not a good idea.
Well, also, he straight up says, like, I don't give a damn about the rest of the world. I just care about this.
Yeah.
But she's also out of her league.
Exactly, yeah. So she needs
and like,
the help.
she knows that Woodrue is already fascinated with it and knows more.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, take a look, but you gotta tell me everything first.
Yeah.
I think he's also vaguely nervous that whatever she's seeing could be related back to what he did in the swamp. Because he asks her at one point, like, what are you gonna do with this info? That kind of thing. And she's like, I'm just trying to understand this before I even take it anywhere. I need to understand it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think he's also, while he is curious, he's also trying to make sure, is this me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will this be traced back to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when Liz calls Abby to go to Delroy's, and that's where Delroy starts hallucinating, because Liz was telling her, I was like, yeah, Todd was doing some crazy stuff out in the swamp in the water last night, and he said he's never going to go back there because some really bad things happening, and that's when Delroy starts hallucinating about breaking that happened when he was a kid.
Yeah, like 30 years ago. Maybe.
Yeah.
And I think the best of the, like, nightmare sequences we get, well, one of the best. I think I really like the effect of it being like daytime in the bar, and then cutting to a nighttime break-in with the masked figure. I thought that was really good.
Like it affects them so much, like it changes their entire like view of the world, like which affects our view of the world, because like he talks about like the world became dark and it's like I entered a different world. I'm like, yeah, that's really cool.
Because originally it just started as like, there's a snake, and that's it. That's all that's different. But now it's like way more than that.
It's like, oh, there's a creepy ass snake in the water. Now it's on my arm. But now it's like, it's the lights are flashing. It's dark.
It's almost like supernatural.
Yeah.
So Delroy's tripping.
Oh yeah.
He pulls a shotgun out from behind the bar and he starts shooting at nothing because he's imagining what happened when he was a kid.
Right. Really awesome backstory of like, just like for a side character, just that this is his nightmare of the night that his mom was murdered from a break-in.
Yeah.
At that place. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then Sheriff Cable comes to try to help. They have a scuffle.
She gets scratched.
Yeah, so like they get the gun away, but Sheriff Cable gets scratched in the neck, and you see like the weird vision of the transferring of the disease, and we're like, oh no, not Mama Cable.
Nope, Mama Cable's got sick now.
So Delroy's he goes to the hospital.
And he comes out of it.
Yeah, and he's fine.
Like after being knocked out of it and coming back, you're good. Well, it's been transferred on too.
Yeah.
It seems like it only affects one person at a time, luckily.
Yes.
Luckily.
Is this also the scene where Abby is talking to Susie? Because Susie's drawing Swamp Thing. Mm-hmm. And then Avery and Maria Sunderland show up.
Oh, at the hospital, yeah.
Yeah, they show up at the hospital. They're like, hey, glad to see everyone's doing just fine. So to celebrate...
Doing his best George Bush.
Oh my God.
Doing his very best George,
there's one
President
specific
George
scene
W.
where
Bush.
his eyes are so closed, he's like, we're going to have ourselves a crawfish boil. And I'm like, George, is that you? Watch this drive.
He even closes
Crawfish
his eyes. He's like, we have ourselves a crawfish boil.
I'm like, God, you are like the most southern man I've ever met in my life. But he's trying to like win the town over. Like, hey, look, everyone's fine. Everyone's not sick. Let's have a big old party. Susie, why don't you come down to this party, you little 6-year-old girl? Let's have a party.
Not only that, Maria Sunderland is getting a little close to Susie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Abby's talking to Susie, and then Maria just swoops in.
And
like,
it weirds Abby out, like visibly, because she'd expect Maria to say, all right, Abby, get out of here, but she's focused specifically on Susie.
Well, she does tell Avery that we're not giving the all clear just yet.
No, I know, but she doesn't tell Maria that.
That's true, she doesn't.
And, like, Maria was pretty strong on the moment the girl is cured, you're gone.
Yeah.
And she didn't have that reaction to Abby. In fact, she was nothing but pleasant with Abby.
Yeah.
And that visibly weirded Abby out.
But that's because she sees Susie, and she knows that her dad's dead, and the only other family that she has is pretty much a drunkard.
I think Maria's trying to like look good in front of Susie.
She's not only she's trying to look good in front of Susie, she's trying to look good in front of Susie, in front of everyone else, so everyone else would let her kind of like adopt her.
Yeah.
Because her whole thing is that she wants a kid again. She lost Shauna, so she's like, hey, I want to like take care of someone.
Question: do you think she wants to put Shauna's spirit in Susie?
Probably.
Shauna's spirit's hanging around here. I know this is the thing.
I don't know if that is a thing that will happen in the future. I don't necessarily see that. But like that's definitely something that could happen. Maria doesn't seem like, at least so far, the person who will go into, like, I want to do crazy Xanadu, put your soul into another body type of thing.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that's like consciously her plan right now, but I am saying that I think like whether she's aware of it or not, because Shauna's spirit is a presence, like actively a presence. We know now.
All the pieces are there.
I think that she's guiding it that direction.
That is absolutely something.
And Susie's sensitive to all that stuff.
Yeah,
apparently. So
that is a good theory. I like that theory.
So do I.
And that would also make her like extra bad too.
Oh,
like I love you, little girl. Psych. This is some possession shit.
Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, my daughter's spirit's still here, so she's gonna take you over so I can get my daughter back. Screw you, bye.
It's like Annabelle, baby. Annabelle Comes Home out this weekend.
Yeah, this is like some freaking Conjuring shit.
Yeah.
Actually, Annabelle Comes Home is out tomorrow.
What?
Is it? Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, it's out tomorrow.
Holiday stuff. Yeah. After the hospital, does Abby go back to the swamp?
No. I don't remember the exact timeline.
So I want to say that Abby does go back to the swamp, but she goes to where she sees the body over by where Todd first got infected. Mm-hmm. Then Swamp Thing shows up, says you shouldn't have come here. There's darkness.
So that's the bit you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. There's darkness. Be careful. So she goes back out to the Crawfish
I think you're
Boy.
right. I think she goes after she talks to Delroy.
Yeah, and then that's where... And also in the hospital, she sees Blue Devil real quick, because Blue Devil's trying to figure out what his whole thing is.
Right.
That's like a quick, like, whatever scene.
Oh, no, we should talk about that, actually.
Okay, so...
we're at the hospital, so Blue Devil is there, and he's like, sometimes the sick kids like to get a visit from the Blue Devil. And he's like, am I supposed to be talking to Abby? I don't know. Why am I asking balloons?
Yeah. I think he's really fun in this. I haven't watched him a lot, and like I only saw Sharknado once, but like, man, Ian's here, and you're not bad. So we definitely get confirmation, I think, while we're talking about Blue Devil. He talks to Xanadu again
at the Crawfish Boil.
And he says like, I've been trapped here, and he says something specific. I don't remember the wording, but he's like, I've already had the burden. Or something. It's like, oh, you already are Blue Devil, possibly.
Yeah.
You are stuck here. You've been here for 8 years.
He made some kind of deal.
He made a deal. That's what it is. Yeah. Etrick and the Demon, baby. Make it happen. He made some type of deal that now he's trapped here. I'm like, okay, we might have already done the origin. And he's kind of like... I said to these guys, if you watch Game of Thrones, he's the Beric Dondarrion of the show. He's trying to find his purpose. And I'm like, oh, he's here to help Abby and Alec. I'm like, that's awesome.
And he has the moment where he talks with Xanadu, and she calls him, like, being on the path of a hero.
Mm-hmm. And even she's like... But even she apparently is like losing her powers because like the darkness is coming and like her readings aren't the same or something.
She's like she says that the future of the town is uncertain.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening all of a sudden. Something major happening in the town.
So okay, this is a perfect transition too. So yeah, Abby gets scratched and then Abby has to go to the swamp because Alec's probably the only thing. Swamp Thing's the only thing.
So first before that is we got the whole bit with like what's going on with Avery and Maria, and Avery's like clearly like pushing his own agenda of I think I told you guys that like he's just using Susie as kind of an aphrodisiac, and then he also talks about her later when he gets rid of let's just tie up the Avery and Maria stuff when he talks with her uncle later, and he tells other people, it's like, I wouldn't rely on him, he's a drunk. And we see him, and he seems perfectly fine. He's buying the child out off of him. Yeah. Which go somewhere else.
Which is kind of messed up, because you see him, and he kind of still looks like a, I wouldn't really trust you around with my kids, but at the same time, he doesn't look like constantly drunk.
He doesn't look like Munson. He doesn't look like evil Munson.
No. Well, he clearly was going to take care of the kid. Yeah. Avery's buying him away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just, Avery is just like every episode is like, man, you are really just digging yourself
deeper
into the villain hole.
Politically, this will help me appearance-wise.
Like, if it looks like I'm helping this sick girl,
but I think it's also that it's going to help Maria.
Yeah.
His relationship with Maria.
100%, yeah.
Because he wants to schmooze her to get her money.
To get money from the family, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm still curious. They mentioned the conclave last episode, and I'm really curious if they're going to... Because they're throwing a lot of things in the Swamp Thing lore at you every episode that's building to this huge mythology. And the conclave is the one new thing that I don't know what that is. And I'm like, what is that? That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that like a organization? Like, I guess we'll find out never. Who knows?
We'll see.
But Abby goes to the swamp, and we have my favorite part of the episode, where Abby starts hallucinating.
She gets it from Mama Cable. Yes. Mama Cable, who
her
saw Matt getting
sorry. So
stabbed.
Crawfish Boy. Let's go back to the Crawfish Boy.
Yeah.
Right. So big party's happening. Susie's there. The whole town's there. Mama Cable shows up, and she starts hallucinating that Matt was Stabbed?
Yeah.
Matt got stabbed by some dude.
Like, Matt goes to break up a fight or he goes up to, like...
Rowdy teenagers.
Like, these two guys were harassing this poor girl. He goes up, guy, like, pushes him down, draws a knife, stabs him multiple times.
Just in the middle of the party.
Yeah. And, of course, Mama Cable shows up and she's trying to protect her boy, but everyone else is, like, looking at her like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, she's having her hallucinations, like, it's all dark and stuff. She pulls a gun, just like, get away! And, like,
she sees
the
dude, the kid who stabbed her son.
And he's just got a smile on his face.
But no one's there.
Yeah.
But no one's there. And then finally, Abby shows up with Liz trying to, like, hey, help me out.
And Blue Devil tackles
her before she pops a round off.
Yeah.
And then that's when Abby gets, like, her arms get obliterated.
Yeah,
not obliterated, but
Mama Cable grabs both arms and it's like scratches both sides of the arms and like, Abby, you're going down, baby. Oh no!
And, so she's like, I gotta take it to the swamp.
At this point, Abby realizes what's going on, and even Liz found an old newspaper article about people who got sick at a hotel back in 1918.
Mm-hmm. And that's when we.
Liz had explained the whole history of it earlier.
And I loved it because it is a monster of the week, but it's like tying into the overall story of the town. Yeah. And it's like this old mutation from the swamp from like the early 20th century found its way into the town, and then the last guy who was sick with it wanted to save the town, so he went to the swamp to die. And then unfortunately somebody found his dead body. Right. And like the evil was brought back in. And like that is such a classic like one issue Swamp Thing story. Mm-hmm. Like that is so like if this was like a 23 episode show, these are the kind of like one-off episodes that I'm totally cool for. Right. But since this was only 10 episodes, they made it tie into the overall story much more, which is just super cool. Super nice.
But then we get to your favorite part, where it's Abby's freak out.
Yes. And yes. Like the second it started happening, I'm like, oh baby, we got it. Hell
we got
him. We've been mentioning this guy named Anton Arcane throughout the series, and he is Swamp Thing's like arch nemesis. He is the avatar of the rot of death. And I wasn't sure if they were going to ever explore that side because there's so many things to Swamp Thing. But in Abby's nightmare, she is attacked by a faceless man in some old school garb, maybe from the 1800s. I'm not gonna say it's from the 1800s. And he's like, you thought you could forget me, Abby? I'm real crazy. I'm someone from your past. You can't forget your aunt. And I'm like, why would he bring up an aunt? Oh, because it's her uncle. It's Anton Arcane, and it's awesome, and it's spooky, and you don't see his face because they didn't cast an actor yet, which is totally fine. Yeah. But the fact that they are straight going for Anton Arcane and the Rot, and they mention. Abby mentions her mother and her mother dying, and then when her mother died, she lost the voices that were in her head. That's all tied to the Rot, and Abby's directly tied to the Rot. So they are world building so hard and so well and so slow enough where if the show were to go on, man, like they got seeds for years. Seeds, get it? Swamp Thing. Every Friday on DC Universe. So it's just super dope that the people making the show are like, we are invested in every aspect of Swamp Thing. Right. Like, from Alan Moore to Scott Snyder to Len Wein, like, all of it matters. And it's super great. It's super cool to see, and it's done well. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like all the Anton Arcane teases and everything, obviously. While she's having the nightmare, Swamp Thing is holding her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
In her violence, and he says, "Let me take this from you," and you see the black come over him.
Yeah. Like the black goo and the black veins, he goes to the body, transfers it back. And then the land just sucks the body in. He's like, yeah, no one's ever gonna get this ever again.
Yeah, like, what does Swamp Thing say? Like,
he's like, this man took the darkness to save.
Yeah, and
others.
then the ground is going to take him now or something, and he just literally just like descends into the ground and gets buried.
Yeah,
like, laid to rest.
When she went looking for Alec to get the tissue sample and talk with him. We didn't talk about how, like, she went looking for him in the boat, and then the vines just came up and pulled the boat.
Oh, it's like over to him. We're gonna GPS you over to us, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swamp Thing is, like, in full control of his powers now. He's just, like, doing vine stuff all the time.
He's certainly exploring his powers.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And he's still... Sorry, go ahead.
No, because I also like how he's talking to Abby, and he says, the trees, the plants... They speak to me. Mm-hmm. I still don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, he's still...
It's still weird.
It's still early enough where he's like... So I know, like, I'm talking to trees and stuff, but, like, I don't get why.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all becoming second nature to him.
Yes. Something every Friday on the
I just thought of it while we were discussing this now. I'm surprised that... I mean, this was a packed episode as it was, but... At the end, towards the end of episode 3, we had Liz's girlfriend had found the bullet holes shot into Alec's boat, and that didn't come up at all in this episode.
I I wonder
because I thought the impression had been that she called Liz about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the last episode, so I wonder.
I imagine
that didn't even get like passing conversation. Like Liz was like, "Hey, we found parts of Alec's boat.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta deal with this right now, though." But it's like, "Oh, cool. Let's check in on that."
I can guarantee they'll show up probably.
No, of course. But I was surprised that it didn't carry over at all into this episode.
Yeah, this definitely felt kind of like a bottle episode almost, where it's like there's still story stuff happening, but like it kind of took a little bit of a standstill to tell this little Monster of the Week story, which is still really cool. Yeah, man, the show's still killing it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I noticed in this episode, and it's not like bad or anything, but like Abby went to the swamp a lot. It was just like a lot of stuff. Like, all right, gotta go to swamp. Her on a boat, talk swamp thing, back, and then it's on the swamp, and then back to swamp.
Yeah, I
thing.
think she went to the swamp 3 times.
Yes, and I was just like, these look like a lot of the same shots, and I know they're not, but it's like the way it's shot, and I'm just like,
two of them are her going back to the same area because she's going to the place where Todd had gotten infected.
Yes.
So,
but it feels like two of those. 2 incidents could have probably got dropped into one instance, maybe, because it felt like a repetition. But again, it's not like it wasn't super distracting. I'm just like, oh, this feels like I just saw this already. But again, there wasn't nothing distracting for me.
Right.
Yeah, still great, still loving it.
Right.
I can't wait to see what Ian Ziering looks like in a Blue Devil costume.
What was the last bit of the episode?
It was that, but also the very end was Avery buying Susie off of her uncle.
But isn't like the last line? It's like. Isn't it Xanadu? No, it's not Xanadu.
I don't think it was Xanadu.
No. It's like, isn't like, this is the beginning of the end or something? Doesn't somebody say that?
Something like that.
Yeah. That's like the last line of the show.
It is Swamp Thing talking to Abby.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
And because what he says is that, I'm afraid for you, Abby, because this is only the beginning.
This is only the beginning, that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
so it is just a little bit after the body was sucked in.
You're right.
And it's when Abby's leaving from there, and he's saying, like, I still don't know what I am.
Yeah.
And she's like, but you're Alec, and it's still, we're going to figure this out.
And he's like, yeah, but it's not, I mean, look at me. I'm not Alec.
Uh-huh.
Something that Madame Xanadu says, and it's something from Alan Moore's comic that's like, his entire run is about this. It's like, the encroaching doom, the encroaching evil, it is not like, it's not just Anton Arcane, it is like the personification of evil itself, and evil just taking over the world. Like, just darkness itself, like, the very concept of evil. And that seems like the direction they're going. Like, all the different aspects of evil, Anton Arcane, the Rot, all these different, like, the
Avery.
swamp itself, Avery, and this town specifically.
Woodrue, which we know is hanging in the back.
It's really cool that, like, again, like, all of these different aspects of the comic are coming into it in such a good way where it's all connecting, and it's not, like, this is from this era, this is from this era. It's like, it's all one era. And I'm like, I'm still truly impressed. Like, the show is still good 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
Weaving this weird Beauty and the Beast story with swamp people.
Yeah. I still like the show a lot. I like this episode a lot, but I do feel like this episode is the first one where I went, oh man, I want more of the, like, progression of everything else story. Because you were right, like, it's very bottle episode-like, and I like all that stuff, but I'm also invested in getting to the next piece of what's going on with Avery, what's going on with finding Alec's boat, what's going on with Woodrue.
Every episode made such progress where this is the first one where we kind of stopped a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, the show's not bad, but it's just like, oh, like, sometimes you have to stop. Because, like, you can't just continuously move forward so fast.
I mean, for a Monster of the Week episode, it's still not bad.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's still pretty damn good.
No, this is still a better episode than most television shows for me. Like,
yeah.
I guess, it makes me wonder, like, the 13 episode thing, like...
This makes me feel like if they had known it was 10 episodes, probably a chunk of this episode would have been cut.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Yeah.
But I like it as it is.
Yeah. And I'm definitely excited for the future. I just want more Jason Woodrue. Definitely want more of that guy.
I just wish we didn't know the show was canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, we can reiterate that all we want, but it's the truth. It's like, man, I'm really enjoying this, and it's a terrible shame watching something that is just stuck.
Yeah.
And
Hashtag say Swamp Thing.
Hashtag say Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Also, Deadly Class and Happy while you're at it, just for funsies. So I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
For another episode of the Fake Nerds Watch in the Swamp, the Bayou. I've been Ryan Leopolis.
Hold on. I was gonna ask.
Swamp Thing.
Do you think? I had this when we were watching this episode last night. Do you think that what will happen? What I'm nervous about is that right around that 10 episode mark is when Swamp Thing's gonna find out that he is an Alec.
Mm-hmm.
Find out. I think that's what the bullet hole boat thing is kind of gonna lead to in some ways.
That Alec is dead.
That Alec is dead, and he is a recreation of Alec's consciousness in plants.
Yes.
And then that'll cause a separation of him, and I feel like that's going to be our season 1 cliffhanger. That wasn't supposed to be a season 1 cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
and would have, come back around up to the finale, but now it's going to be our season 1 cliffhanger of like, I'm not Alec.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't do that.
Oh, man,
but they might.
I do think it's still too early to really say.
Yeah.
Because, like, they've been doing things way faster in this show than I expected them to.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much everything is way faster than I expected, and they're doing it well. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get the human disconnection earlier, and then he turns into, the Swamp Thing at issue 10, at episode 10.
But that's why I'm saying is I think that would make sense if this were just a 10-episode season, but because it was originally a 13-episode season, and they only did up to 10 of what they planned, I could see that, like, around 10 is where they hit that point with Alec, and we're not going to see the comeback.
Like, the last line of the show is like, I am not Alec Holland, I am Swamp Thing, and then done! Like, well, I mean, cool, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Because every episode that goes by, I'm like, they're 100% going to dive into that.
Yeah, because
they're doing it. Yeah, they're doing that bit.
Man, that's one thing I really love about Swamp Thing is, like, depending on what era, how much he cares about humanity. Because, like, at the beginning, like, he's a hero, he likes helping people. And then in, like, the late 80s, early 90s, he is completely disconnected from humanity, and he hates us. And he's like, you guys kind of suck, because, like, I am nature, and you hate nature. And it's, like, a very, like, political Swamp Thing. And then he became the DC Universe New 52 Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I'm just a little sad that I with each episode I'm kind of going, man, this is a really great show. I feel like we're not going to see, like, Avery's comeuppance. We're probably not going to get it because of the episode
or the comeuppance will come too quick and not satisfactory.
I doubt that.
Yeah?
I doubt that. Yeah. I feel like the show... Oh, you mean like if they, like, adjusted it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know, because that's the thing, is we don't know if they had the time even to adjust anything, because the way they made it sound is that they just had to stop.
Yeah.
And, like, episode 10, wherever that ends, is what it is.
Man.
That they didn't get to do anything more to
You would think they'd at least adjust the ending to make it an ending.
They don't seem to care.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Honestly, they don't seem to care about like what it would take to make this show work, because they were like, out of the gate, episode 1, they're like, done, canceled, who cares how this ends.
That's very true, yeah.
I don't think they were willing to put forth the money to help them film something that would feel more like a conclusion. That's what makes me nervous, is that this is going to be really good, and we're going to get like a not satisfying conclusion even in the season, because they weren't allowed to make it.
Yeah.
That's more likely, probably.
Which bums me out. So, hashtag save Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Save it, baby.
All right.
Looking at you, Snoop.
Yeah.
Save it, Snoop.
So you, as you said, you're Ryan Eliopoulos.
Hey, it's me. I'm Ryan Eliopoulos.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at DJ Tony Snark at all the places. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. No, don't Facebook me. Don't do that. I don't know where you can find me.
DJ Tony Snark on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ben?
You can find me on the internet at BenMagnet27 on both Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm Sparkz Witty. You can find me at Sparkz Witty on Instagram, SPARKZ Witty. And we are all part of the Fake Nerd Podcast, which you can listen to every week. We put it out wherever you listen to podcasts. We also upload the episodes here when we can, as little pictures and audio files and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. You guys have Basement Arcade.
We do.
We run this YouTube channel with all kinds of content.
We sure do.
E3 and Fake Nerd specials, a Ken
Cyberpunk
interview. Yes, so all those things are there. Please feel free to check it out. We will continue to be posting more stuff, so like, subscribe, hashtag save Swamp Thing.
Hashtag 5 stars, all of it. Ring the bell, all the
good stuff. Yeah. And that'll do it for today. We'll see you next time in the swamp.
Yeah.
Stay fake nerds.
Ooh, Bayou Billy.
Bayou Billy.
Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Welcome to the 3rd episode of Fake Nerds Watch. It's Swamp Thing episode 4. Did I already mess it up?
third episode.
Episode 4.
The second you said 3rd, I'm like, wait
a minute. Okay.
It's not number 3. That was last week.
Okay, hold on.